It's my turn to lead right now. Okay? It's my turn to lead. It is very challenging in my experience for men with ego issues to follow a woman in any way, shape, or form, and even men without ego issues. We don't have a world where there's many examples. You know, how many examples do we have where women sacrifice? They don't even need to be talked into it, right? Sure, I'll support you while you go to dental school or med school or law school. I'll support you. I'll raise your family for you so you can have your cake and eat it too. You get to have your kids and you get to have your career. Sure, I'll stay home and not be paid for anything. And in the world, out in the world, you know, hooking me like a hook and ladder to you and not allowing me. There's no value attached to what I'm doing, but you've got all the value. Okay. Nope, you don't even have to convince us of that. How many examples of that do you find in the reverse order? How many men do you find following a woman? Something, you know, because in the woman's world, you can't see it. In the guy's world, they have everything to point to. I'm going to go to school and see how this works. I go, and if you go to law school, if you go to med school, you're guaranteed to have a great life. So you got to wait till then, but you know, I'm going to give you that. And that's sort of the deal we sign up for. And we do that, and we think we know what we're getting ourselves into. I'm not going to attack that. It's a fine option. It has worked for many, many people, but it hasn't worked for many, many people too. And for those women, we never really had any other option. That's the karma. That's the karma energy coming through me that oh. He got his hair cut. Oh, fuck. I wanted to be singing. Why is he going by so early? It's only 8:17. He's not that early. Oh, God, he just went by. He got his hair cut. His hair hasn't been that short since I met him like a year and a half ago. He cut his hair. Oh, don't get hung up. It's not a particularly good sign. That's not a particularly, oh, God. Oh, shit. Eek, I might have just lost my singing vibe. Oh, B. Oh, the only thing is I know what time he'll be coming back by. That's the only way I get to see him. It's the only way I get to see him. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, he still came by. He didn't have to come by. I know that's my twin flame. He knows I'm his twin, like we know. He's had much more belief in it, but hasn't been able to let go. He's got way more fear, so he's got more belief, but his fear is trumping his belief. I've had plenty of belief. I haven't needed to be convinced that much, save his fear is causing him to act in his ego. And the ego, I never had that much ego to begin with. He's had a ton of ego his whole life. Quintessential male. I would not have been attracted to him at all for a good portion of his life. And a good portion of my life. I mean, that's my guy. And I can't see him. And worse, we may be done. We're not done. We're not done, but right now, the read, I would, well, I don't have any money. I bet a lot of resources. In fact, I kind of have been. In fact, all of this has been for the, I would bet, oh, that's hilarious. I would bet a lot of money. I would bet which I don't have, but it's not about money, it's about resources. Everything I've done has been in pursuit, in traveling a journey to manifest this. What I really believe is that man that just biked by on his way to work today, Thursday, April 9th, 2015, here in Sarasota, Florida, we intended to be together. We are, on the whole face of the planet, we are exactly the one the other is supposed to be with. There's no doubt. What I don't have a read on is how long that may take. Because the ball, in terms of the initial, metaphor, tennis, the ball is in his court right now, and he can't hit it back until the end of May, early June. It took a while for that message to sink in. And he's never even, all he's focused on in that message is, all he's seen is, because we both come for the all or nothing, is we're done. He's never heard, he's never allowed himself, because of his fear of just us being done, his fear of the worst case scenario, he hasn't been able to hear all the many layers of the reasoning of why it needed to be that time frame. Doesn't matter, it took a while, and it was, but as of, I'd say, well, the last communication I got from him was when he dropped off that at the door, March 17th, I think, 17th, 8th, so it's been a good 3 weeks here, a good 3 weeks since I have no read. I have no read. Except for what I just noticed was a pretty significant thing. I'm pretty certain he cut his hair, which, I mean, I love longer hair on guys, I do, but I don't know, I like to play around, I don't know if I'm gonna ever cut my hair really short like that, but I kind of missed his short hair, and I have no personal pictures of he and I, none, we don't have any, and there is one place, not a physical picture, but there is one place, I will not reveal, that I can go to see a couple of pictures. I remember after one of our fights, you know, his biggest limitation, the way he beats himself up and has, is with alcohol, and mine is food. And since I've known him, he's not done it relative to how, you know, there's a lot of people in my life, not my everyday life, a couple of people in my everyday life who drink every day and who, you know, get themselves in an altered state through alcohol every day. I haven't been around that all too much. I've not been around a lot of altered substances in the length of my, you know, in my adulthood, relatively speaking, and as compared to most, only for the sake of gauging, you know, the normal sort of experience. I've not been around a lot of alcohol vibe, and let me tell you, oh my God. But when he would get into, where was I going with this? When he would allow himself to punish himself and have a night, and it took me 3 times, 3 very painful experiences to really stand up and say that version of you, if you choose, I'm not going to put a condition, if you want to make the choice to engage in that behavior, that's fine, but that bee is not welcome at my home. That bee is not welcome here. You will not ever, if I will deal breaker, that is if you make the choice of that person coming into my home, done. Like, nope. I'm not saying you can't do it, but do not bring it to my home and expect me to make the choice to still be with you. And he, as ugly as things got between us in different ways, he never went back on that. I mean, he followed that. But I remember one time in our what became almost a monthly breakup, when he I mean, extreme of extreme. Really interesting things about him were revealed in the very limited time I was around that energy. Really dark, but then also simultaneously it revealed what he really wants to do and is not allowing himself to do. And it was so tricky to be his girl in that, and I will say girl, because we have not come together as man and woman. We were together as girl and boy. We met as pseudo-man, pseudo-woman, but really the majority of still being kind of boy-girl. I'm losing all my, I'm so thrown by him cutting his hair. Let me finish the story. He's a wanderer too, he's a traveler. He doesn't like staying in one place, but he's torn, right, with that, because the idea of home ownership, it means that you can check out of the system, out of the game. If I own a home, there goes one of the biggest expenses for most people, but home ownership means you gotta stick in one place, and his essence doesn't want to stick in one place, and he's resisting that within himself. And when he would get into these alcohol stupors, the really dark, scary would come out, and this trueness of him. So both the light and the dark would be revealed in ways that did not come out when he was not drinking. And he said his favorite aunt and uncle were going to be in town from Chicago, Midwest, because he was born in the Midwest too. Didn't spend a lot of time up there, only 5 or 6 years, and then moved to Florida. Here, he said he was going to be leaving with them and quitting and leaving with them. And believe me, I didn't think he was serious, but it's not at all far from, like, he is like me in that regard, and even more so because that cat does not have material. He is nothing, man. He is not attached to hardly anything of this world. He ain't from here, man. His soul ain't from the planet, man. He is not attached to this shit. And he said he was going to be leaving. And all I could think about was, not having a picture of his eyes. I didn't care. I didn't care about having a picture of us, our bodies, our faces, but his eyes. He's got these blue eyes, and I swear to God, I see like the whole galaxy in his eyes. All the intricacies. And I thought, not only did we end again on this horrible, all or nothing, not lack of love, just tremendous fear. Like the love is so there, but the fear is so immense and overpowering that you can't even feel the love. All you feel is the fear, that energy, and I didn't have a picture of his eyes to keep with me. This man who's shown me greater love, who I've experienced greater love with, this man that will forever, oh my God. And I just wanted a picture of his eyes. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, because we both have to let go of our respective individual fears of this greatest power. We are afraid of this greatest power because I don't think there's not, well, now on the planet there's actually lots and lots and lots of twin flames coming together, and twin flames by definition believe in love, man. Believe in the real fucking deal. The real deal, two souls coming together as one, where you fully relinquish. You, a twin flame, we are one. We are one. We are one. We are one. But you only get to the one in that journey if you have the self-love. You have to have the self-love. It won't be time for us to come back together until we both, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, have that 100% self-love. And you get that when you see yourself through spirit eyes. And if you're able to see yourself through spirit eyes, when you're able to see yourself through spirit eyes, more and more and more and more of the time, that self-love just gains momentum, and pretty soon it takes over for the self-hate. And all the years, and all the thousands and thousands and thousands, and dare I say for me, millions of thoughts of self-hatred and undeserving, beating myself up, not good enough. He is my twin flame. And it may sound like that is who I believe we intended to be with one another. But we never had that. We didn't share the spirit love. We had glimpses, but they were glimpses. And the glimpses we had was truly, I don't care how this sounds, him feeding off of my spirit energy. His spirit energy feeding off of my spirit energy, but his spirit energy not knowing how to get to his own spirit energy from his ego energy. You got to know how to get to your own spirit energy in this personality through your ego personality. You only get that through this connection. This is how you get there. You got to get there through this body and this personality to get to your spirit energy, which this body and this personality is just. We had glimpses of being with each other's spirit, but I knew without doubt, this is what the girl, this is what the feminine energy, I knew without doubt that he was, and I even told him, I'm pretty sure I've got an email tracking it, but I told him, it's too soon. How can you possibly be in love with me? You're not in love with me as the personality. I'm telling you, believe me, I've been working with this energy. You're in love with the energy because I'm in love with the energy. I'm in love with the energy. I'm in love with the energy. We don't fall in love with the personality as part of it, for sure, but it's the energy. And that's why you can make it work with anybody, as long as you understand that and you can both get to the energy. You know, I could have made it work with my ex-husband. I didn't have the awareness of any of this, but we all have the capability, what I'm doing, we all have that capability to dial in. And he and I experienced it, but he was, because I am vibing this spirit energy and have vibed it my entire life, in this personality, way, 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 way more than the average person, despite a darkness in my heart directed at, is up there. The shift of that. And that part, very, 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 very few people even got glimpses of it. The closest was my family, and nobody would believe. Even when I would talk about, the depths of my eating disorder, the depths of my body image problem, when people would, kind of laugh around at all my self-deprecating stories of beating myself up, nobody really understood to what extent. I wasn't, how some people tell stories and it's got an energy, or they talk about because they're looking for a compliment. I wasn't sharing my stories, honest to God. I was seeking validation unknowingly, unaware of a certain kind, but I was not, I swear, ever looking for somebody to tell me, well, you know what, I'm not going to allow myself to go on that tangent. I wasn't doing it because it didn't matter. It didn't matter if, first of all, I didn't even talk. Let's just use the body image. I didn't talk to almost anybody about that because I knew even at my worst outside appearance of my body, most people would kill to have that body. But it didn't matter what anybody said, including my husband, you know, like it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I wasn't saying anything when I would venture around that topic with certain people in my world. I was not seeking somebody to say, oh, but you're beautiful, oh, but you're so fit. No, or you're so much, whatever. No, I did not, like, I was saying this because I believed that about myself. I don't know what, I guess if anything it was a call of help, of somebody help me help myself in some way, but again, none of this was clear.